writing more as an imagination or as a prediction?
It's like sort of like, okay, this is gonna happen. So I guess you could say it's like a prediction. When I first wrote it, it was just supposed to just be a story about my promotion, and then it evolved into being a prediction about what would happen in the future.
In first contact, humanity has already evolved so much, and yet something bigger is still coming. And I kind of related to that in a weird way. Like, no matter how much we grow, there is always something unknown ahead, right? So, what does first contact really mean to you? Is it aliens or is it something deeper about humanity itself?
Well, it really is about coming into first contact with yourself. When I first wrote it, okay, this isn't going to be a story about aliens. This is going to be a story about people who are trying to make a life for themselves and people who are trying to build something greater than what they are. So when I first wrote it, I said, okay, I'm going to take you through all of these different characters who are just everyday people. And then, okay, there's going to be something special about them in the long haul.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Page of Pandora. Today's episode feels a little different because this is not just about a book, it's about perspective. I've always been curious about people who don't just imagine the future but actually try to build it through their stories. And today's guest, Travis, is one of those voices. From working in retail to now writing something as big as First Contact, a story about humanity standing on the edge of something unknown, that shift is something I personally find really interesting. Because in some way, I think we are all trying to figure out our own next phase. So, yeah, I'm excited for this one. Welcome to the podcast, Travis.
Hello, it's nice to finally see you.
It's a pleasure talking to you.
You too.
Before we get into the book, I want to start with you. You have spent years in retail interacting with people every single day, and now you are building the entire world. So was there a moment where you felt like, okay, I'm not just observing life anymore. I want to translate it into something bigger?
Yeah, I've been on the registers and bagging people's groceries for over 15 years now. So I was ready, beyond ready, for the finally begin my own journey of finally becoming a writer. And so finally I had decided to write First Contact and the other books that you've also reviewed.
Because what I found really interesting in your stories is not just escapist sci-fi. It still feels like very human and grounded. Even while reading, I kept thinking that this doesn't feel far away. It feels like a version of where we are heading towards. So do you see your writing more as an imagination or as a prediction?
It felt like sort of like, okay, this is gonna happen. So I guess you could say it's like a prediction. Um, when I first wrote it, it was just supposed to just be a story about my promotion, and then it evolved into being a prediction about what would happen in the future. So it was definitely hard to write in general because it evolved from becoming a series, from evolved becoming just a story about my promotion to a story about the future.
Right. So in First Contact, humanity has already evolved so much, and yet something bigger is still coming. And I kind of related to that in a weird way. Like, no matter how much we grow, there is always something unknown ahead, right? So, what does First Contact really mean to you? Is it aliens or is it something deeper about humanity itself?
Well, it really is about coming into first contact with yourself. The books, when I first wrote it, okay, this isn't going to be a story about aliens. This is going to be a story about people who are trying to make a life for themselves and people who are trying to build something greater than what they are. So when I first wrote it, I said, okay, I'm going to take you through all of these different characters who are just everyday people. And then, okay, there's going to be something special about them in the long haul later as you read.
How did you come up with the title of the book, First Contact?
Well, like I said, first off, I didn't really want it to be a story about aliens. I wanted it to be about coming in contact with who you are as a person. So that's how I came up. Okay, so this is First Contact. First Contact does happen in the books, but it's not going to happen until a little bit later. But in the end, it ended up becoming, well, this is what First Contact is. It's about coming into contact. These characters come into contact about who they really are. And that's what it was when I had
Wow,
first did it.
that's fascinating. One thing that really stood out to me was how you blend corporate power, technology, and personal lives because usually stories pick one, but you are doing both. So, was that intentional, like showing that even when the world is changing at a massive scale, people are still dealing with that very personal struggles?
Um, I think that, um, can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Sure. So one thing that really stood out to me in the book that how you blend corporate power, technology, and personal lives because usually stories pick one aspect, but you have picked all of them together. So was that intentional in your writing, like showing that even when the world is changing at a massive scale, people are still dealing with very personal struggle in their life?
Yes, actually, it was very, very intentional. I wanted to create a world where you could see people evolving over time. So that was definitely an intention for me to have the corporate world and to have a world where people are just living normal lives and they're not really as rich or they're not really as popular as anything. I wanted to start it off really simple and then it ends up becoming much more on a larger scale of um, oh my goodness, I don't know how to say it. It just becomes on a larger scale. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I'm so nervous. I've never
Yeah,
interviewed
I
before.
understood your point. I understood your point. And I'm really curious about the characters uh, because they feel very specific, like they have lived a real life before the story even began. So, do they come from people you have observed for over years, like customers, colleagues, or moment from your own life?
Some of them come from people that I've known before. Most of the story comes from it's make believe. Most of it is make believe, and things that happen in the and that have happened to me when I've been at work before. So that's a part of it.
So, is it inspired by real life events of yours?
Yes, real life events.
When did you realize that you want to write a book, and what was your biggest inspiration to start writing?
When I was about 3 years old, I used to write all kinds of stories. By the time I was in the second grade, I ended up being published in ODU, Old Dominion University, with a book called Toad's Cake. So it's been going on for a very long time. But I really didn't start writing until I was about 23. That was when I published my first book called Remnants of a Man in Christ, which you had reviewed earlier.
Wow. So, what is your favorite part about writing?
I get to just be me. It's difficult to be yourself in today's world because there's so many expectations on us, on things that we have to achieve, people we have to be. So when I'm in my own space, it's just, I can just be me and I can experience the best of both worlds. And I can escape in these characters and really just live.
Right. And did the story change at any point while you were writing?
Yes. Originally, it was just going to be about my promotion, my first promotion as a supervisor at Walmart. I worked for so many different companies. And then it just evolved into this big universe.
So, you have written 4 books as of now. So, is there any hardest part for you writing those books?
Now it's pretty easy at this point because I have a series now, whereas before I didn't have a series, and now it's a series now. So when people come to it, it'll just be there'll be about 84 books that I'm planning, just about, and that is it. That is all I'm trying to do is just 84 books.
Wow. So, since you mentioned that you started writing since third standard, so what kind of stories do you personally enjoy reading?
I've read a lot of corny books, like a lot of people love her, some people hate her, but I love Danielle Steele. I've been reading her books since I was about 16 years old. People just gravitate towards her because um, she's really good at writing popular fiction. I've read a lot of local authors like Mark Avery and stuff like that. So I love reading like a lot of people who have not even been out or people who have been in.
So, what is your all time favorite book?
What's my all-time favorite book? Oh, that's a really difficult question. I guess you could say it's the Bible for the most part, but other than the Bible, I guess you could say that is Impossible, a book by Danielle still called Impossible.
Okay. So, there are small details in your book that people might miss, but what is that one specific detail that means a lot to you?
Um, Name is something that means a lot to me.
Yes, from your book.
Oh, all of it, really, all of it. It's all of it from the beginning, from Lauren to Makiba to Will to Jane. All of these characters just mean so much to me. And there are small details that people don't really pay attention to, like the collisions. The collisions were very, very difficult to write. That was like really, really hard to write. Those collisions, people have to really pay attention. I'm showing you the future, but at the same time, I'm just giving you a little picture of action at the same time. So you're sort of getting the best of both worlds when you read those collisions and the rose petals. Whereas I show you what people are going to be living like thousands of years from now.
So, what is that one piece of advice that you would like to give to aspiring writers out there?
Just don't give up. You just have to just keep going. Even if no one's reading, publish anyway. You just have to just keep going and just put everything that you have in God's hand and everything will work out.
Okay, we will start with the rapid fire round. You just have to answer in one word, okay? Are you a morning writer or night writer?
I'm a night writer.
Coffee or tea?
Well, that's a hard question because I enjoy both. I guess you could say coffee because that really gives me enough caffeine to do what it is I need to do.
Okay. So, if you have to describe your book in just one word, what would it be?
Inspiring.
Wow. Dream place to write?
Dream what? Say it again.
What is your dream place to write your books?
The dream place to write. Oh, I would love to be in my own home, have my own home, my own mansion or something like that, so where I would be able to write all day and every day. But I have an office that's in a house that I live in right now, and I just write in there all day long, and that's what I do all day.
Okay. Book or movie?
I have to say movies. I'm not much of a reader, but I do love movies.
Okay. Any one author that you admire a lot?
Jesus. Today is his day, so I might as well just give it to him. Jesus Christ is the most admirable God that I have ever known. He let me be born on this day. I was born on Christmas.
Wow.
So I would have to say Jesus Christ.
One emotion your book captures best?
Ooh, passion.
Great. Okay. You talk a lot about breaking limits, glass ceiling, expansion without boundaries, and honestly, I feel like a lot of us want that, but also feel stuck at times. So, have you personally struggled with that feeling like knowing you are capable of more, but not knowing how to get there?
Yes, I pray all the time about how it is I'm going to get to from one step to the next. It's just really, really hard, especially in today's age where the economy is not doing so well and so many people are losing jobs and are not really able to attain their dreams and stuff like that. I wanted to write something that would encourage people to be able to map out a new goal, map out new goals, and to be able to make something that they would be able to achieve in this lifetime because so many people don't get a chance to achieve their dreams. And I wanted to write something that would encourage people to get out here and start their own businesses and start careers like the characters in my books.
Yeah, I kind of agree to that, and that's a very powerful way to look at the things. There is also this subtle spiritual layer in your story, like something unseen shaping everything. Do you believe that personally, that there are forces, patterns, or something beyond logic guiding where we end up?
Ultimately, it's going to be you that makes the decision. I mean, that ultimately moves into where it is that you should be. I think that when you can't make any more decisions and there's no more that you can do, of course, that there's a greater force that people believe in, whether that be God for you. For me, it's Jesus. And whether that be a greater force or faith or something like that, ultimately, we all have to surrender to something in the end when there's no more that we can do for ourselves.
Right. Last thing, that for someone like me, and honestly, a lot of people listening who are in that phase of figuring out life, not fully where we want to be yet, but feeling like there is something more we can do. So, what would you say to them?
Just keep living and do the best that you can. If there isn't a higher power that you can lean on, then of course, then you probably should maybe think about getting into some type of religion or faith or anything like that that will help prepare you to the next level. Um, that's pretty much all I have to say.
That's a very practical advice that you give. Apart from this, is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience about your book?
My books are available on malcolmdresden.com. If you order it now, I can send you the special edition that I have right here. That's in 3D printed. That's 3D printed, and I have other. You can also get it on Amazon, and you can get it on Barnes and Noble as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Travis, for joining me today and sharing your journey with us. It has been really thoughtful conversation with you. Thank you so much. And to everyone listening out there, do check out the book. It's available on Amazon and on the mentioned website as well. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a nice day ahead.
You too.